Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing another one of my brand videos. This time I chose Hallmark, and I had a couple of surprises when I was doing this research. I didn't realize there's other brands that actually fall under the Hallmark brand, so it's going to be an interesting video. I've chose things that are from $40 and up. Just a little background. This is how I do my research. I start by putting in Hallmark Plush, and then I filter by used and solds, and then I sort by the highest price plus shipping. And I pick used because these are the things that we're normally going to find at yard sales, thrift stores, and estate sales. So yes, and in the end I'm going to show you a screen. And then the next step that I do is I'm looking at the eBay solds, and then I go into Terapeak. I use Terapeak to confirm that an item, that the actual price, because a lot of times these are best offers, and what you see on the sold screen isn't always what it sells for. So Terapeak tells me if it's sold for. It's also an easy way for me to see if it's been relisted and resold. I also, on every single listing, I go into the seller's feedback, see if they received positive feedback. If they didn't, I go into their store and see if it's been relisted. Just extra steps. Now, on every single screen, you will see some red writing that says either they received positive feedback or they did not receive feedback. I go ahead and include the ones that they didn't receive feedback. I feel like most of them are probably legitimate sales because I'm not finding them relisted. So I'm just going to include them, but you know, you choose whether you think that it was an actual sale or not. But for the most part, I think they are. I think that's it. All right, so I think I've got about 35 items that I'm going to share with you. One of my favorites is also included this, and I didn't even realize that it was Hallmark, so very interesting. All right, let's see some fun things. All right, this one's hilarious. I don't know if I've ever seen this. It is a 'Tis the Season Screamin' Goat Sound and Motion plush. I guess it screams and faints. It sold for $44. Again, just to make note, this one did not receive feedback, and then you'll see this on all the subsequent screens also. A couple of advent calendars. You know, I sold that big Avon one. I think the Avon one is probably one of the harder ones to find. I sold I can't even remember now, but for a lot. This is an Itty Bitties advent calendar. It's the nativity. The baby Jesus comes off, and then you move it through all of the different ones until you get down to Christmas Day. It sold for $44.99. This is an I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. There were quite a few animated plush. Now, a lot of the Hallmark plush that I find, I buy them for their cuteness factor. But for the most part, many that I find are my bread and butters. They sell for, you know, $8 and up. But again, there are some to be looking for. This could be because of the season we're in. But I did see quite a few that sold in the $40, $45 range. This one sold for the $45. And for some reason, didn't write if they had feedback or not. We'll just continue on. These are itty bitties also. I have a couple of examples of them. I buy them a lot. Anytime I find them, especially at the Goodwill bins and when they're very, very cheap. I make lots of them. I talk about this a lot where I list, you know, one or two of them, and then when I find some more, I end that listing and I add some more, and then I raise the price, and I do this until it sells, and then I start all over again. This one was specific to The Wizard of Oz. These three did sell for $45. This is Bunnies by the Bay. There was several examples of these that would fall into this price. I picked, I think, one or two of them to share with you. This one is Pumpkin Hoop Diddy Mercy Me Black Cat. It sold for $48. This is another Hallmark Advent calendar. It is Santa Claus, and it sold for $48.77. As you can see, many of these do not have feedback that was left for the sellers. As buyers, we need to do better. We do. I make it a point now to leave feedback. I mostly only buy shipping supplies, but I've made it a point to at least go in after I receive my item and leave feedback. It just helps our sellers, and it also helps me do research to see if sales are legitimate. Leave feedback. This, I had never heard of these. Never, ever. Now, this is a Hasbro, but I am finding out Hasbro, Playskool, and Kenner, which I'm going to show in a bit, all fall under Hallmark, or did at some point. I'm not sure if they branched out into their own thing, but I've checked the tags on these, and it does say Hallmark cards. These, I've never seen them. They are nylon, and you know me, I buy almost all plush that are nylon, but they're called Silly Willies. They're from 1987. They're pretty large, 20-inch, and these 4 sold for $49.99. I think I would have sold them separately. They just seemed unique, but I'm serious. I didn't find any more in the sold, so maybe that was a good value for them. But to me, I love Hasbro and I love Playskool, so I think I would have shot for a little bit higher. This is a plush, but it's a Christmas ornament. It's called My Very Own Christmas Tree. There's a box there that has little ornaments that they can hook around the buttons. Very, very cute. There were a lot that were higher, but they were new. This one did sell for $49.99. I did notice also that there were some that sold for a lot less. I don't think enough people realize you really should check Terapeak when you're setting up your price, because you know, you could be following the downward spiral of something when it doesn't need to be. That, you know, if you look at Terapeak, you could see that this sold for $50. You don't need to list yours for whatever everybody else is. Just let everybody else sell out, and then you'll get your price. Lots of Rainbow Bright. This is the doll and the Starlight Horse. This sold for $54.99. I have found the Starlight Horse before. A lot of times they're discolored, and that the yarn on the mane is in just rough condition. This one seemed to be in really good condition. So this was a Hindley Huggable Bunny Rabbit. Like I said, most of the plush that I find are bread and butter, and I would pick this up because it's cute, and I like to pick up rabbits anyway. But this one sold for $56.95. It did say that there were 2 sold. I went and looked, and it looks like that originally, I think what happened is somebody didn't pay, and then they just redid it with, and then so it's showing 2. I'm not quite sure how that shows up, but it could have been 2. Maybe they had 2 that they sold. This is Bunnies by the Bay again. This is Gracious Good Heart Mending Hearts. It said it does have a tag and a baby. It sold for $59, and as you can see, the seller did receive positive feedback. This person does like I do. Even if I pick something up at a yard sale or the Goodwill bins and it has its original tag, I do not list it as new. I just don't. I list it as used. Sometimes I will say, and it appears unused. It has its tags, all of that stuff, but I do not list my stuff. Puzzles that are still sealed, yeah, I'll list them as new, but for my plush, I don't normally, unless I've bought it at the store personally, which I don't do a lot of retail arbitrage. I just list them as used. You run a less chance of Veros and other issues when you list stuff as used, just in general. Again, these are Hallmark itty bitties. These were from Star Trek. I thought it was interesting. These two sold for $59.95. Now it was an auction, but I went and looked, and they, the buyer, did the buy it now price. I could not get that out. The buyer used the buy it now price, so it sold for the $59.95. So there are some specialty ones to be on the lookout for. I love these. These are Charlie Brown, Lucy, Patty, Sally, Linus talking plush. I have found Snoopy on occasion, but I have never seen the rest of these. I would just absolutely love them. These sold for $59.99. There are quite a lot of lots that I'm going to share with you. Now these, I talk about these a lot. These are the Rodney Reindeer series from Hallmark. Now there's some large plush, but for the most part, they are 4-inch long bodies. I want to say one of the fast food places also put it out. I think it was Hardee's had a series of these also, but they are still Hallmark. This was a lot of 15 that was sold for $60. The buyer did leave positive feedback, but I sell mine individually anywhere between probably $12 and $20. Even, I think I just sold recently the lamb there. I don't think it was, maybe like $8, $9. I don't know. But a lot of these other ones, I sell probably $15 to $20. So if you find them, you know, check the comps, definitely. But unless they're not in good condition, I would always pick these up, especially if they're get 50 cents a dollar. And several of the women ones, the girl ones, have like a skirt. So make sure that they do have their skirt. I've never heard of this show. Hoops and Yo-Yo. 10-inch plush. These sold for $65. I'm having a faint memory. I think I've actually had one of these before, but they aren't ringing a bell. But that shape just makes me think maybe it's here somewhere and I haven't gotten to it. These are Hallmark again, Woodstock and Snoopy Thanksgiving series. These sold for $69.99. I did see where there were some Woodstock only turkey plush that were like in the 40s. So, you know, if you see them, you know, you could sell them separately or together. Rainbow Bright. A lot of the dolls that aren't Rainbow Bright tend to do very well. I've had this doll before. I don't think I had the clothes on mine though. This is Indigo from 1983. She sold for $74.95. And this is an example of a lot. Somebody found, you know, 2, 4, 6 Woodstock, put them all together, sold them for $74.99. This works for me because if I find a Woodstock, I'm going to list it. When I find another one, I'll end it, relist it, and then eventually they do sell. This was a really good amount for 6 of the Woodstocks. Another example of lots. This was just itty bitties again. There were 36 of them. They did sell for $76.99, and positive feedback was left. But definitely, when I'm at the bins, I'm picking lots of these up. And then I have some sitting over here because I need to get a small lot going. And then I'll just wash, rinse, repeat. This is a Hallmark Lamb Oh So Blessed plush. Very cute, very unique. Definitely keep your eyes out for it. It sold for $79.95. Another lot. These are Rainbow Bright and the Sprites from the 80s. This was a lot of 8. It sold for $80. $10 each for the Sprites. I think some of them are harder to find. These look in very good condition. So I think the buyer got a really good deal here. This is a Hallmark Halloween Star Wars Porg plush. It says new with tags, but they did list it as used, and it sold for $85. I try to pick up most animated plush, but dang y'all, I am like 60-40. It might even be getting worse with buying plush that does not work. Always check some sell even though they're not working, especially some of the Jingle Pals, which I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes. These, I have found these one time. They're called Zoobly Zoo puppets. I think mine was a lion or something, but it was not this yellow one. These three, they are puppets from 1986, sold for $100. I think I did a Christmas one of these already, and I remember he's in here, so he's kind of a repeat. I had not heard of this show. It's Disney's Prep and Landing. This is Lanny the elf. He is a talking plush. He sold for $119.99. All right, this is a Rainbow Bright Kitty Bright plush. Again, this is Hallmark and Mattel, 1983. It sold for $130. It's in excellent condition. Now these are the Jingle Pals. My friend Beth says she has been selling anyone that she posts on Poshmark. So if you're not selling on Poshmark and you have some of these Jingle Pals, go ahead and cross-list them over there and see what happens. This is a lot of them. Again, I don't think I would have sold these as a lot, and they did free shipping because it's going to be a large box to fit all of these in. They're not little. You know, a lot of times they're, you know, this big. But this lot of them sold for $170. This, I love humongous. This is a humongous Snoopy plush, 36 inches. It looks very dingy to me, but it still sold for $174.99. So if you find any large plush, definitely Snoopy's, definitely check the comps out on them, because you know, even if somebody was trying to sell this for 20 bucks or whatever at a yard sale, it would definitely be worth it. It does show that they did do free shipping on that one though. Now here, I did not realize Jammy Pies, which is Play School, was also Hallmark. If I do a Play School one in the future, I will still include these. But Jammy Pies is the one thing. I have found them a couple of times, but you know, it's one of those things, if you put it out when you're going yard selling, that, you know, I would love to find this and this and this. Jammy Pies is always at the top of my list. I had a dream one time that I walked into a yard sale and I found a box of Jammy Pies. And so that's always, to me, this is one of the things that I love to look for. Very gorgeous plush. This one sold for $165, and the buyer did get positive feedback, or the buyer did leave positive feedback, but I think I did open up another listing just to show that it says right here, Jammy Pies is a trademark of Hallmark cards. Now this was a new in the box one, Pity Pin, and it sold for $499. So I would love to find one in the box. If I find another one, I'm keeping it for a while. I'm just because it can join my other treasures, which Robert messed up my treasures on the wall. I got to get that fixed back. But join me on the wall. All right, we're getting up there in dollars. This is one of the rare Rainbow Bright dolls. This is Tickled Pink from 1983. Look at that condition. It still has the original plastic around her hair. It sold for $179.99. Now this is a Crayola jumbo bunny. I think I recently sold a Crayola bunny, but it wasn't this large one. This one was 38 inches. It sold for $200. Look at that shipping, $63, because it's definitely going to be oversized. You can only compact them, you know, some. You're going to still have to put it in a large box. Here's another large plush. This one is 4 feet tall. This is Snoopy dressed as Santa. It sold for $220, and the buyer left positive feedback. And when I checked Terapeak also tells you how much the shipping was. This was the shipping. And the buyer was thrilled with this purchase. Look at the dollar here. That's how big he is. This is one of the Jingle Pals. This one is called the Snow Chefs. I didn't even know this one existed. Obviously, I have never found it. Very cute. This one's from 2008. I think Hallmark put them out every year. I'm not sure if they still do. $249.99. And there were 2 of them that had sold. So $249. All right. Now this is Kenner, which also, like Play School, is a subsidiary of Hallmark. This is called a Yum Yums. I think I have found this one time ever, and obviously not this one. This one's from 1991. It was, I guess this one's called Candy Apple. It sold for $365. You can tell it's in excellent condition, and positive feedback. So that was the top one. Now I did go ahead and leave this screen open. This is Terapeak. I did extend it to everything for the last 365 days, but I just wanted to show you that the average sale price for Hallmark Plush, $18.46. The prices range from a penny, who does that, to $510. Average shipping, 3,400 items sold, 14,000 sellers, and here, the big old dollar price right there in the last year. I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger so that we can look just real quick. All right, don't know if that's going to be too big. But again, here's Yum Yums. These are the big ones. Most of these, I think, were probably either new or they've been sold more than 90 days ago. I can only pull up the comps for the last 90 days. So quite a few Yum Yums. Here's another one of the Easter bunnies, $399.99. Itty bitties, and again, I have not, because I did not show these prices have not been verified if they are legit. But I just wanted to show you some of the things that they are showing has sold in the last year. See if there's anything different. Here's another Jingle Pals lot that sold on auction. These Dinotopia eggs. I did not see any that had sold. I did see this. I've never found them. I remember reading the Dinotopia series with my kids. So, but if you ever find them, look, $285. Here's some more of them. Some more of the Zubilee zoos. But again, you can see it's repetitive on some of the higher dollar stuff because they're the most highly sought after. Here's a Rainbow Bright Starlight in the box, $200. Some Frankenstein giant 3-foot plush, $200. Harry Potter Dobby, it's saying it sold for $199. Again, I have not verified any of this because, as you can see here, it sold back in March. Just wanted to give you ideas of things to be looking for, and that you can see quite a few of the same things are selling. There's my $170 lot. Go back up here. I don't want to make you guys dizzy. right, let's see. I didn't find any of these that were over $40 and within 90 days. But another thing to be looking for are the interactive plush. There's a dog and another plush that interacts with books. I've sold a couple of them. Again, I don't think they're in the $40 range, but if you see them, I think it's Jingle and Belle are the two dogs. Definitely check the comps on them. Here's a bear called Scoops ice cream cone. It sold probably new because I see a tag there. Not everybody, and see, I wouldn't be able to pull them up even if this had been within the 90 days because I do filter by solds. Lots of Rainbow Bright, lots of Hallmark Bunnies by the Bay. Here's some Polar Express reindeer, sold for $150. So definitely when you're trying to learn about anything, go into Terapeak and just start looking through the solds just to get yourself familiarized. And it can be anything from jeans to plush to, I don't know, brass, anything to familiarize yourself with things that are selling, and especially stuff that's selling high. You know, I talk a lot about, I sell a lot of bread and butter, but you know, I do find some of these types of items too on occasion. So, you know, and it's just a matter of familiarizing yourself with brands and doing the research like this. I used to do it a whole lot more, and I'm glad I started this series because it is going to help me and hopefully all of you see some of the higher dollar plush that you can find out there for very inexpensive. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you have any suggestions for other brands that you would like for me to see, I plan on trying to do at least one a week, maybe one every 2 weeks until I guess we run out of stuff to talk about. No. We'll be doing this forever, I think. All right, it's time to get to work. It is cold down here. Cold. I'm working on Legos still. I hope you guys are feeling my pain. These minifigures. Cow. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I hope your sales are doing excellent. Bye.